Welcome to Market Monkeys. Today we're going to be talking about why invest in the stock market.
Why? Why
exactly?
would people do it?
Well, let's start with this. Say you were to invest $1,000 in the stock market.
Yeah.
The most you can lose is $1,000. But should you make any money,
$1,000 is a lot of money. We know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you've got to start somewhere.
Absolutely. So you can only lose $1,000.
Yeah.
But the amount that could be made is unlimited.
Yeah.
Right? That could become 100,000, 200, could become $1 million. Who knows, right? I'm not saying it will happen, but there's a possibility it could happen.
Yeah.
Right?
And you know what? Just imagine the worst case scenario, Scott. You put $1,000 on, and all it pays you is 5% or 7% in dividends.
Yeah.
Right? And it never went up a penny, a cent. You're still making money. 7% would take you about 3.5 years to get in a bank.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You just made 3.5 years of it in advance in 1 year. Who wouldn't want that? But that's not about it, is it? It's $1,000. You get the right stock, and you haven't got to be technical or really clever. You've got to be persistent and just keep placing those $1,000 here and there.
Yeah.
And
a good few companies.
Good few companies. Get a
couple of banks.
Good spread.
Yeah.
A good base to your portfolio. And believe me, because I'm a person that's done the same, because I ain't the smartest guy. Terrible to have to admit that, but it's true. And it's worked for me, right?
You don't have to be a genius to make money.
You do not. That's what I'm trying to say to people, Scott. I
think the main thing is have a strategy, which we have talked about before.
Yep.
Knowing what your plan is.
Yep.
Then you know what to do should anything happen. If you don't have a plan, you panic. If you panic, you make mistakes. You make mistakes, you lose money.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So.
Right, let's have a look and see what would happen if you put your money in the bank, like 90% of the population does.
Just
anywhere
hold it
in the
in the
world. Right, just put it in the bank and let's think, what are the bank doing with it when they give you their percentage? Oh, that's right, they're putting it on the stock market, right? Don't think they're not. They could be putting it into bonds, but either way, whatever they're paying you is a fraction of what they're making on your money. Oh, by the way, you know when you think you're making 8 hours, like you go to work in the day and you work 8 hours, do you think your money's only working 8 hours that's sat in the bank? No. It's being shifted from country to country and it's working 24 hours a day. And when the weekend comes, they park it. They park it in government banks, right? That makes extra percentages over the weekends. So your money's working, but not necessarily for you. And I'm a firm believer you've got to get your money in your own control your own money and make it work for you 24/7.
Yeah,
bring it into your realm. You don't need no financial advisors. You don't need the bank to tell you to put it onto the stocks that they're going to put it on anyway. Because let's be honest with you, all the money the banks are getting in, do you think they're taking high risk with it or medium risk that they can cover? That's right, medium risk. They're picking up blue chip shares, which are like the top 100, the top 50, the Dow, the FT 100. That's what they're putting them on. The TSX, was it 50?
Yeah, 60, I think.
60,
50 or 60, yeah.
50, 60, whatever. The top companies, they're just pumping it onto them every month, every week, every day. And that's where they're making their percentages. Of course, they'll give you a little slice if you leave your money in the bank. Yeah. Minimal. Some of it's nothing.
Maybe 1.5%.
Not even.
A year.
And that's in the high interest savings account when you've got 50 grand in it. Ridiculous. You can make your own money. You don't need to be relying upon these people. And the more you rely upon them, the happier they are.
For sure.
They'll just keep sending you with a financial advisor saying, I've got the badge, just relax, you're covered, we're looking after it, we've got your best interests at heart. Fantastic. So much I'm making. How much are you making? That's right, it's a little bit of a grey area, but I think we're going to do better next year. Well, you're wasting your time. You've got to start using your own brain. You've all got a brain, the same as me. Maybe not the best, like for myself. I know you're a lot sharper than me, Scott, financially, but you've got to make a decision in your own mind to say, I can do this for myself, and you can. Because if I can, you can.
Yeah. Invest time in yourself.
Yeah.
Learn for yourself. Learn how to grow your money for you.
And that's what the banks would do with your money. They just use it in.
They're just taking it and they're taking advantage, right?
Taking advantage. That's how we see it, right?
Yep.
But it doesn't mean just because you see them as, I see them as like the enemy. And I'm not saying they're the enemy, but I'm saying is, I don't mind putting the money on the bank, not in the bank. On, not in, right? Because I'd rather buy the stock and own part of the bank. And I'll be one of the people saying, yeah, keep bringing your money in. I'm happy. I'll keep taking the big dividends and you just keep paying your money in. But why wouldn't you want to be one of the people owning a share of the bank that you're actually banking?
Absolutely.
What's your risk?
Absolutely.
You're banking there anyway.
Yep.
But anyway, most people and wealthy people in the world, where do they obtain their wealth? Think about it.
Yep.
Where do they obtain their wealth?
Well, it has to be through investing, right?
Yeah.
Because majority of people that are wealthy, they haven't done it by going to work laboring.
No.
They haven't gone to dig a ditch every day to make hundreds of millions of dollars.
And when we talked in previous episodes about cutting back on your smoking drink, do you think they cut back on their smoking drink? No. What they've done is they've built companies, then they floated them, they've had IPOs, they floated those companies. Right, when you see these people worth 50 billion or Facebook or Amazon, do you think they're doing it from actually working? Or do you think it's their stock share price? Once again, it's on the stock market, because it goes up $50. Do you think they're making that $1 billion there, or actually going to work and working? No, it's the stock market making them all the big money that they're worth. That's why these big companies are all floated on the stock market, and the people that are the founders and all that, they're absolutely mega wealthy. And that's where people that have real wealth, that's where they take their money from.
Well, like for instance, like Jeff Bezos?
Yeah.
He's
From
just
Amazon.
become the richest person in the world.
Yeah.
As of a couple of days ago, based on Amazon's just jumped, 13% in a day?
Yeah.
Automatically, he's just become the wealthiest person.
Just like that.
Because he's
Did
made
he do any
billions.
more work? Same amount of work he was doing every day. Right, so the money is made on the markets. The wealthiest people in the world are making money on the stock market.
Through business.
Through
right?
business, but the actual, they've made money in their businesses before they were floated, right? A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, and made their big companies. But once they float them, that's where they get the extra wealth.
Absolutely. And then they take that more money and then they spread it and they increase it further.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
Same idea, right?
Yeah.
The money comes in from the businesses, he takes the money, he redistributes it into other companies, buys more shares of more companies that he either owns or buys the company outright, then more money coming in.
And then
just growing.
And the more money you get on the market, and when you've got the money on the market, you see the market's working for you then, right? And it's not always, you're not always winning on everything. You can't always win on everything because there are bad days, good days. Companies, most of them survive, but they do sometimes have bad times, right? They get distressed, which I like. Distressed companies, we'll go back to that again. But anyway, there's a source of income to be had from this. Absolutely. That is not a pension, that is not government controlled. It's not a GIC or whatever it is. It's not controlled by the government. You can make this yourself a form of pension, right? Or an income to live upon, right? If you invest
second source of
income,
absolutely.
Right? Because you're working hard, but you're now placing your money on things that are bringing in monthly incomes, 3 monthly incomes, 6 monthly incomes. What I'm talking about is dividends. All of these companies, 90% of them, they give dividends. Right, and a lot of them are very healthy dividends.
And they grow every year.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could have a pension fund that would grow by 15% per year, or 10 or 15% a year.
Yeah, without
so 1 year,
inflation.
say for instance, you had $30,000 coming in for the 1 year. Next year, you're going to get $33,000. Doesn't that sound like an idea that something's going to keep growing? So if everything goes up in price, you don't have to worry about it because your income's going up in price every year because the dividends are being increased every year.
That's right, and that's where people fall short with their pensions. For some reason, their money is not increasing. It's not increasing, but with the stocks, and the funny thing is, all your pensions are on there in the stocks. Why isn't it increasing at the same rate? Well, that's right, because you've got so many people taking a slice upon the way.
Yeah.
Right, they're taking their slice, and it's eating into you being able to beat inflation, right? Because once you've got a pension, you want to be able to beat inflation at the very minimum. The big wealthy people, they're not interested in that. They're just making money, and they don't worry about pensions and things like that. That's for normal people like us, I'm afraid. But you know.
So the next thing we're going to touch on is, so we are looking at when you buy a stock,
Yeah.
what are you doing? You're becoming a part owner
Yeah.
of a company.
Which is fantastic.
Absolutely it is.
You know, when you drive into McDonald's, Tim Hortons, or you drive into Costa Coffee, you drive in and you say, do you know what, I'm having a coffee here, but do you know what, I own a part of this.
This is part of my business.
And
I own part of it.
And you see that lineup? I'm glad there's a lineup, because this is my business that I'm investing in, is thriving. Right, and a lot of the time you can see these businesses that are thriving, they're right in front of your eyes.
Yeah,
You just got to open them up.
using them.
Yeah, you're using them every day.
You don't even think about it.
You don't think about it, you just think, I'm getting the coffee, I'm just getting the food, I'm just getting this. But you go in there and look around and actually open your eyes and look around and say, this place is like a gold mine.
Yeah. What superstore are you going to that everybody's talking about,
Yeah.
that you love and everybody else loves, and it's always busy?
You go there.
Maybe
and
that's a company you might want to own.
Exactly. You go into some of these stores and you say, well, some of them are empty, right? And then you go into, I don't know, like Sears is going for, well, it's just gone bankrupt, right? It's just gone liquidated. But, you know, you go into some stores, like, I don't know, the Superstore, or Tesco's sometimes, or something, whatever.
Yep.
You go in those stores and you find all the fruit and veg is all picked over, there's nothing left. You think, well, do you know what, that's a bad thing for when you're trying to do the shopping. But you look around and think, well, crikey, there's people in here like ants. They're like ants running around. Right? They're buying everything. So if they're buying everything, that's fantastic. That company, you check out that company because it's worth something. And you know what? You're only buying a fraction. Great. A fraction of a fraction, whatever, some of these big companies. But you own something. Right. And it's progressing forward in your favour. Right.
A lot of these companies as well, as you always got to remember, a lot of these companies, they're all striving to do well. They're not trying to do bad. They're all trying to grow. They're all trying to make money. So when you're buying a part of a company, you're saying, yeah, I believe you should do well, and I think you will be able to continue to make money in the future. And if you see they're busy, why wouldn't they be able to?
And people say, oh, I invest in my own house, or I buy a house, and I bought another house and gone into rented it, and this and the other, and I make money that way. I say, great. I've done that, right? And like I own my own house and everything, but have I made more money from buying and selling houses, renting out houses, having a bed and breakfast? Have I made more money than on the stock market? No. Over the period of time that houses, they do, some cities, they go crazy for 5 minutes, 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, then all of a sudden there's a slump on them. But the markets continue and march on.
Yeah.
Right? They do take crashes, but overall, the market will outperform, the stock market will outperform the housing market, no matter where or what country I've lived in. And I've made some good money on property, don't get me wrong, I have made some good money, very good money, but overall, I've made my money on the stock market, and the stock market alone. That's where I've made the money that affords me to sit at home and I don't care.
Well, there's another thing is to say from that. Say, for instance, if the house price is doubled, now you've got a problem because not many people can afford it. If the stock price is double all across everything, it doesn't affect anybody. No. Nobody's like, oh, well, I have to have stock.
And if your house price doubles, right, and you want to buy another one, it's already doubled, so you're not actually going anywhere. If you want to buy the same house, you're going parallel. Yeah. You're not any better off unless you move to an area that nobody wants to live in. Where everybody's killing each other. Unless you do that, which you're not going to do. So you're not making, a house is for living in, you're not making any money. It's relative. It's all relative, you know. Yep. But anyway, I think we're about done there, Scott.
Yeah. Okay.
Good for this one?
I think so.
Market Monkeys over and out. Subscribe.
Thank you.